just sex. It's repulsive. I don't want it. I don't want your kiss or your touch or your lips. It's repulsive. Don't want you to text me. Don't want you to sex me. Don't want none of you on top of me. Hey, I don't want your sex. I'd rather die than have you inside of me. I don't want your sex. I can't take your sex. Please don't give me no sex. I beg you. I don't want your cock. Don't want it in my mouth. Can't even imagine you holding me between my crotch. I don't want your sex. It repulses me. It scares me. Repulses me. I don't want your sex. Don't want your sex no more. No, no. I'd rather die than have your cock in my mouth. Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Wow. Well, I hope that song wasn't directed at me.
No.
Okay. I mean, I know that it wasn't, but you know, people that are watching right now, you're talking about, you know.
I don't want your sex. It repulses me.
Wow, but a beautiful rendition. I like the way you were doing the thing with your mouth.
Thank you.
You fake a blowjob. Very effective.
Yeah. I'd rather die than have your cock inside.
So welcome, everyone. We
Yes,
are Epstein and Hassan, also known as the Black and the Jew.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you may guess, tonight we're going to be talking about sex and repulsion. So where did this come from, Hassan? And I'm going to do the news today.
Yes.
So this is based on some things that we read in The Guardian, and we followed up and did a lot of research, as we always do.
Yes.
So here's what we've come up with. This basically was talking about Japan, but it's not just in Japan. It's a worldwide phenomenon.
Absolutely.
Although Japan seems to be the what do you call it? The center
hub,
of it.
the hub,
the
the
hub
center,
of this. Just check this out.
Yes.
This is for people between the ages of 16 and 24.
Whoa.
Okay? 64% of Japanese females between 16 and 24 said that they are repulsed by sex. Let me repeat that.
Please.
When I read it for the first time, it kind of shocked me. 64% of Japanese females say they are repulsed by sex. 25% of Japanese men between 16 and 24 say that they are repulsed by sex.
Them too?
Yes, 25% of the men and 64% of the women are repulsed. Now, that's the word that got Hassan and I, repulsed.
Yes.
Because, you know, everybody has a different feeling about sex, but repulsed is a very strong word.
Yeah.
Repulsed is like,
I could see you being repulsed by somebody, let's say you date it and you don't like anymore, you don't want them just to be around you, but the whole
no, they're saying that
sex
repulses them.
Yes.
So this got me into thinking, it's been a long time since I was between the ages of 16 and 24, but I do remember it slightly, and I remember that I was obsessed with sex, I was excited by sex, I was even a little fearful of sex, but I was never repulsed by sex. I mean, this is an amazing thing, and it brought me back to a memory I have that my grandmother Dora, she told me that when she would have sex with her husband, my grandfather, that she basically was repulsed by it. She said it wasn't enjoyable to her. You know, he got on top of her and he stooped her and he stooped her and her pleasure meant nothing, Hassan. Her pleasure had no. It was all about, you know, the man getting on top of you and drilling you. Now, I don't know what's going on in Japan. I don't know why women are so repulsed, but 64%, that's 2 out of 3 women. So let's say you go to Japan and you meet 3 women. 2 of them are repulsed by the idea of you having sex with them. So that's like mind-blowing. And what we found out was that this isn't just in Japan, although Japan is the dominant, you know, the most.
Yeah.
It seems like younger people around the world are not into sex anymore. Now, this is a terrifying thing for the future of humanity. and it also plays into a lot of our ideas, Hassan.
Well, going back to you expressed how you felt about when I'm thinking about that age. What was 16 to 24 or 18?
16 to 24.
16, 24.
I don't know why it's 16 because that's sort of illegal.
Well,
but
for me, it was about finding somebody that that I could. Who am I going to give this cherry to? But definitely, I was excited, as you said.
You had a cherry at 24? I find that hard to believe.
I lost my cherry pretty late in life.
24?
Yeah,
no, I think that cherry, your cherry must have been dried up.
Plum, baby.
By 24, that was a
I
dry.
held on.
You didn't hold on
now,
that
see,
long.
in my day, you could grind your ass to death and hump, right?
But they're not saying. Let me be clear on this. They're
but I'm
not,
just saying, for me,
they're not.
I wasn't repulsed by it.
They're not saying sexual intercourse, Hassan. They're saying sex. Now,
Yes.
sex can include a lot of things.
Yes.
Sex can be making out. Sex can be, oral sex, anal sex.
They don't want none of that.
They're not into it at all. And that is a very terrifying thing. Like, you claim that you waited till 24, and you
No, I
claim
was
that
in my 20s.
you had
I was
like
in my
one
20s.
partner. And
I was in my 20s.
you
when
have a
I
lot
did.
of what's called senility when it comes to
I was
how much.
in my 20s,
how much-
but I was, excuse me.
Yeah, she's
I was-
choking. She's choking on her
But
lies.
see, when in my day, right, you would grind and hump, and you did a lot of foreplay stuff. But I was excited.
But
I
not
was just-
repulsed.
No,
Repulsed
no,
means that
no,
you're disgusted.
No.
It means that that younger people are so turned off by their own body and by other people's bodies that they don't want to engage with them. I mean, the species, I'm not really usually someone who's looking to protect the species, but the species can't survive if people are repulsed by sex. So this is a shocking thing. It's bringing me back to like women through the 60s and the 70s, which is our area.
Fought
To come. I mean, every TV show that would be on, like we had all these shows that women were demanding to come, and women weren't going to shave their coochies. They were. I mean, when you went down on a woman in the 70s, you had to bring an Afro pick down there.
Not every woman.
It was like, but sex was a big
Always
thing.
tells
Group
that
sex.
joke. That's
I like that joke as well. I like that. It's my Afro joke.
Yes,
You have an Afro down there.
But see, I'm looking at it, and I'm going to add something to it. It seems to me like we've become so addicted to technology. And just hear me out. We've become so addicted to technology, and we need gratification instantly. Foreplay is almost like out of our minds just in terms of anything. And technology gives you instant gratification. You don't need anyone else there. So it's almost like we're becoming a group of people that we really don't need to exchange anything with another human being, because we're getting everything from technology. So it's much more comfortable to have this object right here instead of having to deal with another person, listening to what their feelings are, having to figure out what they like, what they don't like. We're moving more and more towards just having this technology in front of me, and that's what I'll use. So the fact
I don't know what you're saying. So you're saying that people are having sex with their technology?
I think absolutely.
Okay, so my thing is a little.
Absolutely.
My thing is a little different, and
Absolutely.
my thing is that we've become so addicted to screens and so addicted to our gadgets that we no longer know how to connect with another person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't.
But it's not that we. Okay. So.
Yeah, we don't know how to connect with other people, and it's much more comfortable, let's say, to go on an app or go on something and come from that opposed to another person. It's much more comfortable in terms of where we're moving.
I'm just finding that very depressing, actually.
I
find it very
agree.
depressing.
I agree.
Not that I don't, I don't mind jerking off to porno. I'm not saying that you shouldn't jerk off to porno, but it's good to have other people with you. To me, it just sounds like people have become so isolated, so feeling of alienation, the isolation. We're so locked in our own world, and everybody out there we're fearful of everything. Now, this poll, these stories was taken before COVID, so just imagine how scary it is now. Because I know people who are single, and they're terrified about getting back out there. With masks and vaccines. Before you have sex with someone now, they're gonna have to show you their vaccine proof.
Oh, it's absolutely.
It's just this horrific world that we're living in. But I find the thing that I really want to get back to is that It's the repulsive thing. What is repulsive? So in other words, these people feel that the body is repulsive.
The human body.
The human body is repulsive.
The act of the human body.
So this
the
leads
smell
me
of the human body.
to where I'm always going. And my theory is this is the end of humans.
Oh, absolutely.
Humans are mixing with machines. We no longer really just want to be humans. We worship our machines. This technology that we have, we worship it. We're no longer, it seems to us that it's more interesting to us. You know, I heard something really wild that, you know, in the pornography industry, the government and big business, they are very, pornography is one of the 3 biggest industries in the world. And what they've realized is that when you have sex online, like when you go on these online kind of things and there's a woman or a person sitting there, they get your credit card, they get your data. If you go to a hooker and pay cash, the government can't get any of that money. The corporations can't get any of that money. So they want to get rid of cash. They want that. Eventually, they're going to have chips in our hands. And what I find amazing is that people are going for this. I mean, if you take sex out of life, really, if you take sex out of life and you take pizza out of life, there's very little reason to be alive anymore. Like, why are we even alive?
Yeah.
Like, you're repulsed by sex?
Well, I told you about that site that I heard about called, I think it's Fans Only or Only Fans, where, you know, let's say, as you said before, you'd go to someone, a live person, let's say you had a foot fetish, and they put their foot in front of you, whatever they do, and that.
But if they're doing it online, they got to give you. You have to give
but the thing is, not only that, you're doing it online now. You're giving up the credit card, and not only that, they have this information about you. So let's say you're going for a job or something. You don't know who's got that data about you
well, if you're going for a job in a shoe store, they're going to hire you because every shoe salesman has a foot fetish.
But let's say you're working in an industry where it's going to be questionable that, let's say, you're into S&M or you're into whatever.
Well, this is my thing.
There's the record.
The great thing about life was that you had sex. Now, they're calling it repulsive. But my point was, there's certain things that may be a little bit, for some people a little challenging. Like some people don't like body odor, and sometimes, your private areas may, they don't smell as, it's it could be a little funky, and there could be some sweat.
Yeah, you might not want.
That's why we have drugs and alcohol.
Yes.
That's why we have drugs and alcohol, so that with the bad smells, you'll stick your head in someone's ass. You don't care.
No.
I mean, how many times in your life has a man sprinkled cocaine on your ass and licked it out of your ass? This is the reason life was
How many times?
How many times? I've done it. I mean, how many times does that happen to you?
Times?
This is what made life is really brutal.
I haven't kept count.
Life really is brutal. You're born, you age, you get sick, and you die. People you love die.
Yeah.
Life basically sucks. The only good thing about life was the disgusting shit you did when you were having sex.
I didn't tell you there was a photo. Madonna put some shots of herself up on Instagram, right? And years ago, this would have been like a big deal. She was like looked like a bathing suit or S&M or something. And the comments below it were kind of like, well, why are you doing this?
Well, that's ageism. People don't want old women to be sexy.
But they don't want old women to be sexy, but it also
if you think the 24-year-olds are repulsed by 24-year-olds... If they saw a 24-year-old Japanese girl saw me naked,
oh my God, that's a whole nother show.
I mean, just imagine that. Just imagine how that would feel.
Anybody aging, it's not even
but
about.
Madonna,
and they're young, and they don't want to.
That's what I'm saying. They think it's repulsive. When you see an old person's body, I mean, it's pretty shocking.
But the point I was making is when she came out, we were looking at her like, whoa, this is sexual revolution, blah 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 blah, all of that stuff. They don't.
Sex was fun, night.
It's not fun. Sex is for some reason now.
Fun anymore.
It's not fun.
Nothing is fun.
There's no humor in it.
The only thing that's fun is your machinery, your gadgets, your phones, your technology. And this is a horrible thing. And then the other thing that they had in the same article, which was even shocking too, was that I believe the number was 80% of married couples in Japan no longer have sex. Now, part of being married, I mean, part of being married is to have a sexual relationship. We're an old couple.
That's
We've been
right.
together for over 30 years.
That's right.
But we're still drilling. We're still humping.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
still
throwing them against the wall.
We're throwing out. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard. I got a
I mean,
bad.
you can't do the same things now. We have to be careful. You know,
Like we don't like if we're gonna fuck, we don't eat for 3 days.
No,
Clean
you
all
can't
the shit
do
out of your
that.
body.
No,
All that
no,
stuff.
no,
But
no.
we still want to do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not throwing my legs
there's
up
a
like
lack of
all the way back
intimacy.
there because my back will go out.
So here's a
you know,
quick
yeah.
theory that I have before
Yes.
our guest Joe Keys
Yes.
is arriving, but I hear him outside because
Okay.
he's talking shit outside.
Oh,
but
he
I
is?
did want
I'll
to
go
say,
get
no,
him.
wait, hang on one second before
Okay.
you leave.
Just a minute, Joe.
I had this thought because it's in Japan, and I was thinking that maybe because Japan was the country that the United States dropped atomic bombs on and showed the whole world that man could now be play God and end life, destroy life. And that happened in 1945, and then a few years ago there was the nuclear disaster in Japan, where the remember the nuclear reactor blew up, and
Right.
So I don't know. This is just a thought that came through my head that how psychologically is that going to affect a people if they saw that
Really?
kind of death? I think that maybe what
Black
Japanese
people still fucking?
they're not in the statistical thing. I could
No,
find out.
yeah, we are.
Well, I'll
and
tell you one thing.
What did we go through?
You're not gonna. Yeah, but that's different. Slavery is different because no, slavery has always been around since the beginning of time.
Yes.
Man did not have the ability to be God before the atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Man did not have the ability to just wipe everything out. And maybe psychologically, some people in Japan, I know that we don't remember these things because we all have amnesia. A lot of artists after 1945, when we bombed those two countries for no reason whatsoever, there was no reason to bomb Japan. That was just the United States showing Russia that we might do it to them. But there was we killed hundreds of thousands of people. And I think that psychologically, maybe that affected the Japanese people. I think that could be true. I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying, that maybe that's why.
But why not the age of, let's say, the Japanese who are our age opposed to the younger ones?
I don't
now?
know. Maybe they were feeling the same way. Maybe that's been the thing. There's no babies being born in Japan. There's a big problem. There's no people being born. And it's not just Japan. They're just and we're getting back to the slavery. Even if 25% of black men find sex repulsive, they won't admit it. Because they're just not going to admit it. A black man is not going to admit that he finds sex repulsive. I mean, that's just not happening.
No.
Nor a Jew, because Jews were very much about that too.
And Italians ain't going to do it.
And
so Puerto Rican,
Right,
no, no
now
Spanish.
Asian people in China, I don't know what's going on in China because, I don't know, but I think they're fucking in China. They got 1 trillion people there. They're doing some serious fucking. That's what made me think that maybe Japan, because they paid the ultimate price. They paid the worst price of any country in the history of the world, what was done to Japan. And of course, Americans think that we did that with good reasons. We had no reason to do that. The war was over. But before...
Watch your hand, man. Watch your hand. Watch your hand.
You know you like it.
No, I don't. No, I don't like your
Why don't
hand
you
in
go
my
get Joe
face,
Keys?
okay?
Why don't you go get him?
No. I just want to say that what's happening in Japan, I think is going to trickle over into a lot of places right now.
Trickle was a good word to choose
Trickle?
because sometimes your cum trickles out of
down
your
here.
cock
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
rolls
yeah,
down your
yeah,
leg.
Yeah, you're so fucking bright.
I like to go from stuff like that. I like to go from some deep thought did the United States create this sexual problem in Japan to come trickling down your leg?
Well, we're going to have one here. You don't think so?
Me and you?
No. I see. I'm not one of those women that, like, if I get mad at my man, like, say we're not gonna fuck. I think that's the stupidest shit in the world. You gonna cut your shit off because you're mad? Fucking then curse him out.
Yeah.
But you don't stop your
because
shit.
that's because she waited so long. When you wait till like
Yes,
almost
I
40
did.
to
It wasn't
have
like
sex.
you at 4.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I'll be there, Joe.
So this is the thing that's happening in the world. People think that I'm, losing my mind. I've had actually somebody emailed me and asked me if I'm losing my mind because I'm starting to sound like a lunatic, saying that humanity is coming to an end. We don't want to be humans. This is the whole plan. The plan is they don't need humans anymore because they got machines now to do all the work. This is coming. It's right happening now. They're not going to, when people go, we're going to go back to normal, we're never going back to normal. There's going to be no jobs. They're going to have all these self-driving vehicles, which means all the truck drivers are going to lose their jobs. They don't need humans anymore. They're going to use machines. So now people are sort of blocking off their sexuality because there's a psychological effect on what's going on. Don't kid yourself. We're being brainwashed. We're being conditioned to accept what's coming for us. You know, this is what's coming. The world is going to change big time. Now they know that you don't even have to go to work. They'll keep you in your house. They'll put a chip in you and watch what you're doing. I mean, and we're just accepting this. We are just accepting it. And you know what? Because nobody knows what the hell to do. Nobody knows what the hell to do. We're just like been broken. There's never been this level of control by the ruling classes right now. And the reason they have all this control is technology. Because they are able to track everything you're doing. They want to know what kind of porno you're watching. Not because they don't want you to watch porno. They want to know how to sell you the kind of porno you like. They want data. Data is what gets people's dicks hard and pussies wet. Data. If you have data, you have control. So this is the thing. This is it. So, you know, we have this show. We come on here and we talk to very few people. It's not a large, a large platform. But when the world, and come on in, when the world ends, we will have a record that Epstein and Hassan saw this shit coming. Japanese people don't want to have sex.
Don't forget me, man.
And Joe Keys, the legendary Joe Keys.
Yeah.
Joe, how are you, my man?
Doing, man?
Hey, good to see you. Nice to see you. So what do you have for us tonight, Joe?
First of all, I want to say I like what y'all was talking about. Make sure I'm in the camera, man. Shit. Yeah, there I am. Hey, how y'all doing? J-Lo, call me back. I wasn't home when you called me. Yeah. I'm a little serious tonight, man.
You're always serious. You're a serious man.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a silly man.
I bought this in because I couldn't, my mind. I smoked so much weed I can't remember shit. But there's a black family, right? It's in a part of California. They filed a complaint against the school system there in Palmdale. The teacher went on a racist rant, right? Now this is a kid, a student, right? His mother called the teacher on Zoom because the kid is having a problem now being online studying. So the teacher, the parent wanted, can you help me with my kid? The family reached out to the teacher. That's a fucking job. That's what you do. He had trouble connecting, right? And after they talked, they finished talking, and the mother was still on the call, but the teacher didn't know the mother was on the call. And this is what this motherfucker said. His parents, they're a piece of shit. They are. He's black. They're black. They're a black family. And he's lying. Your son has learned to lie to everybody and makes excuses. It's not the son's fault. This is what black people do. Now, white people do it too, but black people do it more.
So this
Way
teacher,
more.
let me
No, I'm not through, man. So, the teacher was in the room at her house on Zoom with her husband. He was in the room. So when she finished, she thought the mother had hung up. And she's like, yeah, these goddamn black kids and their parents, the kid's lying. I gave him all the shit he needed. But you know how them black people are. They lie. I mean, white people lie. We lie, but we definitely don't lie as much as white people. So if you hear the recording, you can hear the black mother in the background, like shocked and almost like she's crying. And she heard this white teacher talking about her son. Now, this was not a call, I'm talking because your son is misbehaving. This was a good kid.
The kid was struggling because he's online now instead of in the classroom.
Yeah.
So his parents are trying to, help him, and the teacher's basically saying that he's a liar and he's a cheater because he's black, and that's his family. And this is his teacher.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you all something. I went to school in the South. I had black teachers segregated. But the teacher stand up in front of me looked like me. Now, I'm not saying you can't be white and teach. But you really gotta check your heart. Because a lot of the white teachers out there, they have a preconceived notion of black children. And if you think a black kid can't pick it up, of course they can. They're already coming in there with shit that they hear about society. You know, you don't realize that little black boy, when he's sitting at home, right, and he's eating his cereal. A lot of you whites out there, you ain't saying to your kids before they leave, make sure if a cop stops you, you say yes sir, no sir, hold your hands up. You training your kid not to fucking get shot on their way to school.
See, to me, Joe, you
I'm
don't want
pissed about
you don't want to
this
say,
shit.
but I'm going to say it.
Now, don't
That-
tell me I'll say any fucking thing.
I mean, you just said you don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. Like a lot of white teachers, even they may think they have good intentions, they have prejudice, and people pick that up. They put into children's minds. Children pick up the fact that this teacher thinks that I'm less smart than white children. They pick that up. And this is who's been teaching black children in the United States since the beginning. A lot of white teachers.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of white teachers are also hardcore racists that really don't like black children. And that's been coming out a lot in the internet.
And
You see it.
particularly for black boys.
Yeah, it's black boys.
See, if you check the history of special ed classes, like I know the system in New York, because I go in schools and do music, right? District 75 is mainly poor black and Latino, some poor white, but that's in a lot of them classes in special ed, they're young black men. They're young black men, so they already marked. Now, I know my shit. In a lot of white schools, what they do is they give the white kid an IAP or whatever the fuck they call it, give them a class, help so that they can graduate and go to a school. They mark down black kids. No, special ed, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a very sad thing.
It's a sad thing, man. It's a sad
thing. You know, in America, a black kid, he's being taught unconsciously, subliminally, that he's not up to white kids.
Well, how does he even go back into that classroom right now?
Well, that teacher had to get fired,
But still, how does he even sit there dealing with
it's going to affect him his whole life, And then in Japan, nobody wants to get laid. Look at this world. I mean, what's going to happen here? We have people in Japan don't want to get laid. American kids, the teacher, with this Zoom shit, by the way, I'm not a big Zoom fan, but I heard something about Zoom. Their business this year has gone up by about 4,000% because of the COVID, and they're not paying any taxes. They don't pay anything. Whoever owns Zoom, whichever dick, he's a billionaire now, this guy or girl, whoever the hell it is, they don't even pay taxes. This is the problem here in America. We got to have, rich people have to start paying their taxes. But anyway, go ahead.
It's even deeper than that. It's not just the school. It's the fucking voting rights going on right now. Let me tell you, any of you out there, I don't care if you're black, white, bi, side, whatever the fuck, you need to find a committee, you need to write a letter because they want to take the voting rights away from black. They are now, as I speak.
Man, you're serious.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they want to take the voting rights from black people. And I grew up in Camden, South Carolina. Moved to New York City when I was a young boy. Used to go back and forth down south. And I experienced what that shit is like.
What's happening, man, right now, Joe?
And they want that shit back.
What's happening now is an out-and-out, basically a civil war.
You better believe it.
Trump set everything off, but now the Republicans are basically going out-and-out white supremacist nation. That's what they want.
You better believe it.
So this is what we have to remind somebody of right now, because this is what's happening. In 2000,
Kamala Harris, I like you. I like the socks you wear. But I'm going to tell you something. If you ain't getting on this voting shit, I'm going to have a problem with you.
Well, there's a big problem because if Biden and Harris don't get their shit together in 2024,
we gonna be fucked.
We're gonna have a version of Trump that's gonna be a smart version.
Baby, you ain't seen it yet.
You know, fascism has arrived in the United States. If you think it's not fascism because it doesn't look like the way it looked in Germany,
it ain't about
Italy,
the boots and the hat. It ain't that shit.
In America, fascism is gonna come, and it's come here with a cross and some sneakers.
And a hat turned around.
That's what it is. It
Nike
doesn't look the
sneakers.
same.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, this is a horrible thing what's happening with voting rights. It's a horrible thing what's happening with black children being taught that they're not equal. And it's a horrible thing that Japanese women are so repulsed by sex.
See, this is my thing. This is my thing. All right. I need all the Japanese women out there. See, the thing of it is...
What do you need?
I need you to call me.
Again with the call you.
You can
What's
call
your
me
number?
63457.
It's always a new number, man. What do you get a new phone?
I got a few numbers, man.
So let me ask you what you want. So you're saying that Japanese women, this is young women, like let's go 18 to 24, because I don't want you to go to jail.
No, not 16.
No, 16 is too young. 16-year-old could be with a 16-year-old boy.
I don't like that, man.
No, but let's say 18. 18-year-old Japanese girls, they should contact you.
Yeah, because see, this is the thing that you need. You need to laugh while you're fucking. You take it too serious.
You think they take it too serious?
Yeah, you're too worried. Like, they got a test in Japan, man, where these women, they take a piece of paper and they put it on their bodies, and if their waist is wider than the paper, they feel like they fat.
Right.
You gotta stop that shit. Put some meat on your fucking bone. Open your legs up wide. Let Joe Keys go in and explore that mountain. And I'm telling you, you will want to come.
So you're saying, let me just get this straight before I throw you out of here. What you're saying is young Japanese women, 18 to 24, should contact you. You're going to throw their legs wide open.
Yeah. Well, or either twist them however they want it.
And you'll give it to them, and they won't be repulsed. But you're an old man. I mean, when you...
And what does that mean, man?
Well, where are your balls? Are your balls on the floor?
No, that's your shit.
Oh, yeah, Jewish men.
Yeah, Jewish men.
Yeah.
Your fucking balls look like, you know, you're playing bowling. But that ain't my shit. My shit is strong.
See, I do understand. Like,
I don't use no Viagra. You know what I use? I use my mind.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm so good, I won't come till you come.
See, you're as bad as Epstein. Epstein before was talking some deep shit about how maybe it's all the nuclear shit that's been done to the Japanese people that's got them fucked up about sex. And then he mentioned that trickle down was jism shooting
Well,
down.
see, y'all need to learn from my
you,
people. Look at what we talking about. They fucking with our voting rights. They fucking with our children.
But you're still thinking about throwing a Japanese girl.
But we still fuck. All right, we will grind and hump, right? We gonna always love. We gonna always give. I'll squeeze a titty in a minute. And yeah, you might try to take away my voting right, but I'm gonna fight for that shit and still squeeze a titty. I mean, you gotta make this shit holding.
All right, thank you so much, the great Joe Keys.
Why am I bothering
No,
you?
I'm watching the clock, man. I don't want to run
fucking
too.
punk clock me, man.
No, I'm not
Shit.
punk clocking you. I'm not punk clocking you. I saw the clock. You told me to keep an eye on the clock. I got to deal with Hassan. I mean,
nobody told you to marry an old bitch.
Nah, she's not a. Don't use the bitch. That's
I'll
very.
say that to her. What's she gonna do?
That's not a thing, but you know. But this is really, you know, we all know this. Some people, you know, I grew up with a lot of people who were school teachers, and you know, I know that this was a different era, you know, back in the '60s and the '70s. But I grew up, a lot of white women mainly that I knew that were school teachers were out and out prejudiced against black kids. You know, I'm not making this shit up. You know, do I have tapes of them saying it? No, I'm just telling you the truth. There's no reason for me to make this up. When I grew up, most white people that I grew up with, my parents in the summer went to a pool, and there was probably like 150 people there. And one day somebody brought a black kid, a friend, as a guest. People went nuts. They went nuts that a black kid was in the pool. And this was not like you know, people who were uneducated people. Like I'm saying, there were a lot of school teachers, a lot of, you know, it was like this pool was like people own their own houses. A lot of people came from the projects too, but it was racism is so ingrained in America that this is the way it is. And now they're stealing the voting rights. They're literally stealing them. And I don't know. It seems to me like the Democrats.
Bye, Joe.
Are they going to fight? Do they ever fight? They do what the corporations tell them. That's the big problem here.
What was wrong with Joe?
He is upset about this thing that happened with.
Was he pissed?
He is pissed. So, what can I tell you, Hassan? But it is time for our weekly feature. That is our feature when we give the fuck you, the middle finger,
right.
fuck you.
That's right.
So, are you ready?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. Let me get my notes. I like my notes. So you got it?
I know it is.
Okay.
I don't need to see my notes.
Okay. You ready? Yeah. He looked at his notes. You ready?
Ready?
Okay.
Fuck you, Dr. Birx. How dare you?
Fuck you, Dr.
How fucking
Deborah
dare you?
Birx.
You're going on TV now, giving interviews, trying to
Really?
act like you are innocent.
And you care.
When Trump was allowing hundreds of thousands of people to die that didn't need to die, you stood there
Like this.
and looked at him like, I used to think you had a crush on him. Then I found out that you are a married woman, a lesbian married woman, maybe, but you weren't having a crush. I didn't know what it was, but you had this thing with Trump where he would say the most insane things.
And you just stood there.
And now you're saying that you didn't. He threatened to fire you, so you didn't want to say anything.
So that was worth you.
So basically,
millions of people.
You should have got fired and then said the truth. You could have had such an impact going back in June,
Change
July.
the world.
You could have done it. You could have said he's lying.
Yes.
We tell him what to do and he won't listen. And you could have gone on CNN every night. It's not like you would have disappeared. So why didn't you do it? You want money.
Power.
You
power.
want power.
Power.
You
power,
want to be
power,
important. You
power,
want influence.
Power.
But Dr. Birx, no one is going to forget what you did.
Nope.
No one.
You're gonna go down in history.
You were going to go down in
as
history.
a fuck up.
Like, I'm not saying as quite as bad as a Dr. Mengele,
But you're in
that realm.
Yeah,
you are a person
yeah,
responsible for hundreds of thousands
right.
of deaths. You
That's right.
and Fauci.
And I hope you can't sleep
You
with
and
it.
Fauci, who
That's
still
right.
has his job somehow.
Yeah, how
does he have his job?
Yeah, yeah.
You two knew the truth and you didn't say anything?
Yeah,
Why?
you can say that bullshit about you could have came out and said we don't have enough masks. We just need the masks
one
for
day, right.
the people
It
who
was
are on the
all
front line.
lies.
People would have got that. All the confusion out here now
It's
is
because of you
you
and Fauci.
Yes,
Both
you
of
fucked
you.
it up.
Both of you. And you know what? I know a lot of people that watch this shit, they like Fauci. Fauci is
Bullshit.
a liar too. Here's the thing. The worst thing that Trump would do to you is fire you. He's not going to kill you. He's going to fire you. So you get another job. You don't think CNN would hire you? You'd probably
And it goes to, think about this. All of you out there that have jobs, if your boss was doing something that questioned your level of integrity, questions the lives of other people, would you be willing to just not say anything?
Hassan,
I am not one of those people.
You know me better than anyone. I
not one
have
of those
burned so
people.
many bridges.
Yeah,
There's not a bridge alive that I didn't burn.
I'm not one of those people.
I'm not afraid of losing my job.
Fuck
You're a
that.
fucking asshole, Fauci.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
Yeah, bang,
And
boom.
fuck you, Birx.
Bang, boom.
And
Yes.
who do we give our shout out to?
Now, I love sketch comedy, and it hasn't been a lot going on about that, but I was on Facebook, and I found this group. They're called the Baroness Von Sketch Show. It's 4 women from Canada. And I want you to know these women are just fucking fearless, unbelievably talented, funny as hell, and extremely relevant. So I'm sending you ladies
For Women's History Month.
For Women's History Month, a big yes.
The Canadians.
Love you.
You know, Canadians.
Love you.
She makes me watch
Love
this.
you.
They are very...
More and more and more work needs to be
They
out
are very
like that.
funny,
They
these
are
ladies.
brave. They are tackling shit
And
that...
they have some important things to say.
Very important to say.
So, what are they called again?
They are called the Baroness Von Sketch Show.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
that's our show for today. Don't go anywhere because the Jackies, I heard,
they have
things to say.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I'm gonna cut his fucking hand off.
I believe the Japanese are right.
What do you mean?
Sex is repulsive.
Well, you're a Jackie. You don't have a body. Why would you think that? Sex is fucking great.
It's not great.
It is great.
Humans smell. They fart.
Oh, that's true.
Like all their shit, right? They put all their attention.
And then they grow hair, and then they try to take the hair
Right.
off.
So most of the time, they think that bottom part with their pussy and the cock and the
It's
ass
so important, right?
is so disgusting.
Yeah, yeah.
But then after a few cocktails, you want to stick your head into it.
Yeah, yeah. And forget the smell.
Now, the Japanese aren't thinking like that.
They're like, ooh, this is repulsive.
Right, the Japanese are smart. They
Fuck
go,
this.
"What,
I'd rather
is
be on my
disgusting.
phone. Yeah.
I'd rather be on my phone or go to see a sumo
But what
match."
happened was all the young girls started shaving it, and it really got scary down there in
Maybe
Japan.
the Japanese girls have been seeing too many sumo wrestlers.
Oh.
You know, those guys wear a diaper and they got big...
No, but these are 24. These are like young
But they
girls.
grew up seeing that. That
No,
would scare the shit out of you.
Yeah,
seeing
that's
that
true.
shit.
A big man in a diaper.
Yeah, a big man in a diaper. So,
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. And then I feel bad about the black kids. I feel really bad about that.
Oh, America. Fuck America, man.
Yeah. America's pretty fucked up, Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're the Jackies.
Yeah.
Fuck Niels.
Yeah, we're black.
I love sushi.
Yeah.